Hi, I'm Carson.
I'm Karson.
We're Karson and Carson.
And this is Stanley's Diary.
He ripped his elbow out and stabbed him with it.
Yeah, if Captain
not?
America was like, we gotta go, I'd be like, okay.
Yep.
And then he'd be like, we're fighting Iron Man. I'd be like, you lost me. This is always how I envision my wedding.
Really?
You know, though, I kind of like the exclusivity. Like, I want to meet in a group that just anyone can be in.
I'm gonna check that.
Yeah. Are we not recording?
Alright,
Alright.
so today, was this episode 5?
Episode 5.
Episode 5, wow. Thank you so much to our loyal viewers.
It's been like 2 months.
It's been almost 2 months. Well, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Today we finally get to Iron Man 2.
Everyone's favorite.
Everyone's favorite movie in the entire cinematic universe. The third of the 23 installments so far. 21, 23, 20
23
plus.
sounds better.
20 plus installments. We are so close to the end. We are just racing towards Endgame and
Towards the end
and
game.
afterwards. Wow. Can't
At
believe
warp
it.
speed.
Warp speed. Yeah. So we're at Iron Man 2. Got a special episode for you next time.
We do. Stay
I'm
tuned.
really excited about it. So, I don't know, sneak peek. I mean, like, can you tell them what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, tell them what it is.
We're gonna do an episode about our favorite memes.
Marvel memes.
Marvel memes. Yeah, not just.
Just, here's my favorite meme.
These are our favorite memes. No, our favorite Marvel memes. So that one's might be better to watch on YouTube because I will be putting my Adobe Premiere editing skills to work. And I should be fine. Just being able to put on put the memes on the video. It won't be that hard, but it'll be easier to laugh with us if you watch them. Of course, we'll make it accessible for Spotify. We'll describe the memes.
We'll describe it. Some of them you've probably seen if you are a real fan.
Yeah, big fans
And
will be exposed.
You're one of my friends. I've probably sent you some of these.
That's fair too.
I send you some sometimes.
Yeah, we have regular meme discourse.
They're great.
But, yeah. Anyway,
Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2. The
You get the Stark Expo. Who doesn't love that?
Expo. My least favorite opening, perhaps, in the entire universe. Not the Stark Expo, but the beginning of the movie, leading up to the title card, where it's like Iron Man 2. I hate that part because it's like it's all Anton Vanko, right? And it's him, building the machine and his dad dying, and then it's like Iron Man 2, and I'm like, I hate Jon Favreau in this moment. Like, that's what I hate. I hate that choice. And then I don't know. Also because we hear like the TV going, and it's like Stark's like announcement that he's Iron Man, but it's different. They have different words, like an extended clip of it.
Oh.
Instead, as opposed to the end of Iron Man 1, where he doesn't ramble on for so long. It's just, he probably did in the actual take, right?
Right.
But they cut out a big chunk of the middle of it, and it's just like, I'm not the superhero type, but like, in Iron Man 2, in the opening credits, like, rolling,
it just starts.
It's way too long, and it's like, that's not what he said. It immediately takes me out of it. It's like, that's not canon. We don't know that. Like, you can't...
It is canon now, though.
But it's not, because it's already a discrepancy between the last 30 minutes of the... It's ridiculous.
Phase 1 had a lot of discrepancies.
I know, but that might be the first one. That bothered me a lot.
Maybe.
Because it's only the third movie, and the other movie, Hulk, really didn't have anything to do with Iron Man.
Right.
At all. Except for the very end, but again.
At the very end, they were like, how can we tie these movies together?
Just have Robert go.
Yeah.
Just tell Robert
Someone
to
call
show
him. Have him to stand up there in the end.
Yeah, but anyway. So I hate the beginning. Absolutely hate it. I turned it on and I was like, man, that's why I never watched this movie.
Because of the beginning.
Because of the beginning. It's because I'll watch Iron Man 1 any day of the week. I'll watch Iron Man 3 any day of the week. Will not watch Iron Man 2.
You like Iron Man 3 a lot.
I love Iron Man 3.
It's a good one.
Does not. But
I don't dislike Iron Man 3. I like all the Iron Mans. It's
I
just
like it too much.
You just
your taste.
like it a lot, which I've never met someone who likes it as much as you do, which is why I think it's funny.
All right. Anyway, so I hate the beginning of the
I
film.
do not.
Carson didn't have that big of a reaction.
I
That's
didn't
fine.
hate it.
That's fair.
I think it sets up. They're trying to like set up his background as like why he's a villain.
Yeah.
Put a little, you're like, oh, we kind of feel bad for him because his dad, but
I want to make a
also I
meme
never felt bad
of
for
that.
him.
I want that. I want us to use that. I'm gonna cut that out. I'm gonna screencast it on my own little movies on my computer, and we're gonna use that whenever we have technical difficulties from now on. Okay.
If you can handle it.
Every like middle of the episode when we have to take like our 24-minute break because our camera only records for 24 minutes at a time, we'll maybe it'll just be Vanko going and the music stirring, or maybe we'll find a different clip every week. Maybe that's what we can do.
Yeah,
that could be fun.
Just like a array of clips depending on the movie.
Yeah,
the reason I don't like this movie as much, I think, as just an Iron Man fan, people like to use this movie a lot to talk about why Iron Man's such a bad person.
That's true.
And you have to watch all the movies to get the real context of what's happening, so people will see Iron Man 2 and be like, wow, Tony Stark sucks. Yeah. And I'm like, you don't even understand what was happening, the history, who he is. I'm like, coming at Iron Man after just, this movie doesn't, it represents him, but not who he is now.
That's
or
true.
Was.
No, and it's tricky too, because, like, even within the context of the movie, you can kind of get it a little bit as to why he acts the way, because he's dying.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not that that's an excuse to just be whatever you want to be, and he does display his playboy tendencies in this film far more than in any other film, even though that's how he's described.
I wouldn't even say playboy. You don't really see him with any people. Just reckless.
Yeah. I was meaning the, ogling Natasha Romanoff.
Oh, but...
And that's, like, playboy's a loose term. It's
so
more degrading. But, like, yeah, so did you.
She's this really hot woman who comes in and kicks butt. Like, I was like... When I first saw it, I was like, who is she? What is she doing? She is not a secretary. Like, no, she's not an assistant. And everybody was like, yeah, she's the new assistant. I'm like, are your assistants trained in the martial arts? Because mine aren't.
Does your assistant speak 7 languages? Speaks 7 languages. Or 10. Is it 10?
It's a lot.
Is it I can't remember.
Known languages. That people know she speaks. She probably has a bunch under cover that she ain't gonna tell you.
She speaks Latin. Nobody speaks Latin.
She's a spy.
That's true. I know. It's an interesting dynamic in that film, though. It's like,
I don't know how no one knew. How did everybody buy her act? She's not that good. Well,
Pepper knew. Or knew something. She didn't know that she was a spy. She thought she was, like, trying to get Tony's money or something. Like, it seemed like she thought she was trying to, like, lure Tony in and make him be reckless and give her all his money or something like that.
Yeah, right.
But she knew there was ulterior motives. Because she's like, I'm on to you, and then blah, blah, blah. Like, ever since you've shown up, Tony's just been wild and crazy, and she's like, all right, cause and effect, Pepper. Let's just because
correlation does
not
equal causation.
Yes. Statistics 101. Whereas my friend Troy likes to say, who took statistics together, correlation definitely equals causation. That's what Pepper thought.
Yes.
Because it's, it's great. It is the first movie, though, that actually you can see Marvel trying to work its magic in broad daylight with, like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where, in Iron Man 1, there was the post-credit scene where it's like, how'd you get into my house, essentially, and Nick Fury's just standing there by the window. And
right.
It's like, I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers, blah, blah, blah. And we don't know anything about it, right? And then at the end of Hulk, it's like, Iron Man's like, hey, man, we might be doing a thing. And
I love that, too, because he's like, hey, send Tony out to recruit for this team, and then tell him at the end of his movie he can't be on the team.
Right.
Because he's too reckless. Because he was dying. But then when the time comes, call him anyway because we need him.
But the thing is, it's funny because even in Iron Man 2, when Fury met him at the donut shop in the middle of the movie, it's like, I thought I wasn't, suited for the Avengers. And he's like, I thought you guys didn't want me. Or whatever. He already said that. So Fury has asked him to recruit and then decided before Iron Man 2 started that he didn't want him anymore.
Yeah, he said something like, I don't want to join your super secret boy band or something.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of like, he's like, oh, I don't want to be in it. But secretly that's his dream.
100%.
Tony wants to be in the...
Yeah, he definitely
Did
does.
you say something in your face?
I said H double hockey sticks.
Oh my gosh, that's okay.
No.
No, the issue I think with this movie though, you get S.H.I.E.L.D., you get the U.S. government trying to take the suits.
Yeah.
You get Rhodey, who's now Don Cheadle.
Which is good. I mean,
Think of that how you wish.
It's a good change, I think. But I don't know, it's interesting.
Don Cheadle's fun.
Yeah,
I like him.
Don Cheadle. He's great.
But you get that story, you get the poisoning story, he's dying, but then you also get this Black Widow side story, his dad, you get all that, and it's just like, this movie tries to pack so much in there, which is important moving forward, but so much for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lot.
Yeah, it's interesting because it was like, Iron Man obviously is the origin story, and then Iron Man 2 is like, okay, now there's a superhero. What does that cause for the rest of the world? Is sort of what it is. It's like, what is the impact of Iron Man? Okay, well, what's the impact on himself? What's the impact on the U.S. government?
Right.
What's the impact on his company? What's the impact on Pepper?
Yeah, and then
what's the impact? Oh, by the way, there's this thing, S.H.I.E.L.D. that
You're not alone.
You're not alone. Like, that's another part of the impact for you, right? So it's like, it is a lot, right?
I think it's necessary, but just maybe not executed to the way it could have been.
I think it's tricky because like, I don't know if they knew. I mean, did they know at that time that they were making other movies?
They knew at that time that they were gonna make Thor after.
Yeah.
They knew that the Avengers were coming because they
right.
figured out who they had the rights to. I think they thought, let's see how the Avengers goes, and then we'll see who else we have. And then no one expected, I think, the Avengers to turn into what it did.
Right. Okay, because like, maybe if they thought we might only have 3 heroes or something, you know what I mean? Like, this movie does have to do a lot of work if we want to make this a thing, Because then Captain America can just be an origin story, and Thor can just be a good story. I mean, Thor's not an origin story. Well, it is kind of an origin story, but Thor's already Thor when we start the movie, then he loses it and he comes back.
Well, he's kind of like Thor in his young age.
Right, so it's like a
1,000 years old.
Yeah, it's they're all sort of origin stories, but like...
You get the origin story of how Thor came to Earth.
Yes, absolutely.
And met humans.
Yes, and met Jane.
Yeah, and it's kind of Loki's origin story too, in a way. Like, you get, the Loki history. That's important.
Yeah.
But that's not this movie.
It's not. We're just getting off track, and...
I love Loki.
I don't know...
I have a couple questions.
Yeah, questions.
I wrote some questions down. These are like random things that I've heard, and I don't know if it's true. True or false? Your opinion, because I've heard that this has been confirmed, but I don't think it was intentional. That the young boy in Iron Man mask at the Stark Expo final scene is Peter Parker.
Tom Holland has said that he plays the character like that was him.
But that does not... I do not think at that time that they were like, hey guys, this is going to be Spider-Man. Because they had no clue they were going to get Spider-Man.
I don't think they thought it was going to be Spider-Man, but he has decided that it was Spider-Man. Therefore,
it's Spider-Man.
Think Marvel lore. Maybe not Marvel canon, but it's Marvel lore. Maybe there's a slight difference between what lore and canon is that we don't... I don't know if we can really actually figure out what the difference is, but like... I guess canon is like, it's in the movie, someone said it, or made a direct reference to it. Which hasn't come up in any of the Spider-Man movies. It's not like, hey, Tony, hey, Mr. Stark, because he never says Stark. Hey, Mr. Stark, remember when I was at your convention and you shot that robot right behind me and you were like, nice job, kid, and that was me. That hasn't happened, you know what I mean? Or there has been no reference that he went to Stark Convention or Stark Expo or whatever. Yeah. But, like, he has said in interviews that it is him.
He's decided it's him.
He reads enough Marvel fanfic to decide that it was him for sure.
He was like, this is me.
Which I'm down for.
I've heard
like
it like
that.
a couple times that it's him, so I'm like, sure, why not?
I believe it. I buy it. I give into it.
Okay.
I like it.
There's-
I like it. It adds to the story. But it does mess with the timeline again. With the discrepancies.
Of how old he is?
Yeah, of how old Spider-Man is.
Spider-Man just walked at a real young age.
He's just weird, man.
So in Doctor Strange, this is really specific. In Doctor Strange, right before his car accident, they reference a paraplegic, not a paraplegic, quadriplegic? Paraplegic, I think. Someone who's basically had a spinal injury, Air Force, but they call it it's a suit, but it was a prototype suit. And I've always wondered, is that Hammer's guy from Iron Man 2, or is that Rhodey from Captain America Civil War? What's the Doctor Strange timeline? When was he in his accident? It has to be Civil War. I just answered this to myself, because in Endgame, during the Avengers Battle of New York, the Ancient One says that Doctor Strange is doing surgery across the street. So he has to still have use of his hands, so it has to be Rhodey in Civil War.
That's what I heard. That it was
I just
Rhodey.
FBI'd it.
That's what I had understood.
I always thought it was Rhodey too. But I had also heard that it could be Hammer's. Like,
Wait.
well, what's that article gonna say? Because Endgame just confirmed it for me.
I mean, I don't know, but Doctor Strange is speeding along. Describes a 35-year-old Marine colonel. So, not Air Force.
Oh, I thought it was Air Force.
I don't know. This says Marine. It doesn't put it in quotes, though. He crushed his lower spine in some kind of experimental armor. Sounds like it could be War Machine, but when you feel think about it, it doesn't line up.
It does line up. Kind of.
It's... Alright, they're saying...
It's the guy in the hammer suit.
No, they're saying that they're just...
Saying it's not Rhodey.
Yeah, and I don't buy their logic. The first argument they make is that Don Cheadle is too old to be pretending to be 35.
You can pretend to be as old as you want.
Ridiculous. Because Tony Stark is like...
40s.
Yeah, was at the end of it, right? And like...
He's 40... I think... Someone's gonna fight me if I'm wrong. I think he's 38 in Iron Man 1.
What? That seems wrong.
Because I thought he was 42 in the Avengers.
I don't know. That seems...
I know RDJ right now should be like 53.
He is. Yeah, RDJ is 50 or so. But I thought, for whatever reason, that Iron Man was like 30 when it was Iron Man 1.
I don't think so.
That was my impression of him. Because, and this is why, I guess we're getting off track again, but like, it doesn't matter.
We can always cut.
You can watch the movie. It's great. It's fine. It's whatever. We're just gonna talk now.
I recommend watching it.
Yeah, I don't just, I don't hate the movie. I just hate the opening.
It's a good movie in all terms. The villain is not memorable, but he's built.
Yeah.
Like, they build his backstory more so than, like... I don't know. There's been some sad villains.
Anyway, before we get off track of our off track,
Mm-hmm.
I thought Iron Man was like 30-ish in Iron Man 1 because... Oh my god. Maybe 32. Maybe 32.
I'm just gonna look it up.
Because we get referred in that movie that he took over the company when he was 21, right? Like the prodigal son returns, right? Which is a weird reference to make. But like, and if he's been doing CEO stuff since he was 21 and he hasn't like done anything crazy insane since then, that doesn't make sense. All right, why is it 38? I want to know the logic, because the 30 or 31 makes sense too, because Pepper's been working for him for 10 years and he took over when he was 21. The internet says 38, but Carson's gonna figure out the logic.
I'm gonna tell you why. I just spilt water on myself, by the way.
Nice.
Because he was born in 1970. That's why.
Okay. Fine. That, like, I know, right?
You were like, but why?
Weird. I don't like it. I don't like that. And I mean,
He would have grown up in, like, the 80s, 90s.
Yeah, but it's just all funky. You know, I hate using, like, I mean, yeah, okay, he's 38, fine, but I hate using the timeline as a reference for the Marvel movies now, like actual dates. Because I know they're supposed to, a lot of them are supposed to have happened in the present day, in the real, like, when they came out. Like, Iron Man's supposed to be set in 2008. Like, I get that, right? But there's also, like, Guardians of the Galaxy and Guardians 2, according to Kevin Feige, took place 2 weeks in a row. You know what I mean? It was, like, it's called Feige's Big Week. It was Guardians, Doctor Strange, Civil War, and Guardians 2 all happened in the same week. Allegedly, right? So it's like, it's all too funky to actually fit on, like, a real timeline, especially when they're throwing up numbers left and right.
Well, the Doctor Strange and Civil War happened at the same time makes sense because
that
the accident, and then Doctor Strange is in an accident, and then he disappears for, 2 years? And we can assume that's him learning, like, him at Comertage.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna butcher it.
But
I almost said Taj Mahal.
Not quite. But, like, I don't know. It's just tricky, especially with birth dates and stuff. Like, Sebastian Stan. Winter Soldier was born 3 different years, according to 3 different Marvel films / television shows. Like,
like, this is going off the S.H.I.E.L.D. file.
Like, there's different images. Like, his dog tag says one thing in one time, and then the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Series has his birthday as a different year, and then the museum that Captain America visits in Winter Soldier has a different year. Like, it's all funky. You know what I mean? Like, birthdays are funky, and it just doesn't fit for me. I don't think that Tony Stark's character is built in such a way that he would have stayed and just been the boss of a company for 17 years and not went and did something else. You know what I mean?
Well, he didn't. He didn't lead a company for 17 years, and I think that's...
He was a CEO when he was 21.
Yeah,
and
but
he's still a CEO.
Who led the company? Obadiah.
Yeah.
Always. Pepper signed off on everything for him. Obadiah made all the decisions, and that's why we get Iron Man 1 where he gets blown up by his own bombs. Because he doesn't know, because he doesn't pay attention to his own... He's the face, but he's not the brains.
Yeah.
For the longest time.
It just doesn't make sense to me that... I don't know.
He builds stuff, which is what he likes to do.
Yeah, I guess.
So he builds things, and then he parties, and as long as he built enough, Obadiah was happy. Obadiah didn't probably make him go to meetings.
I don't know.
Pepper probably makes him go to meetings. That's probably why he quit.
I don't know. It's just weird, you know? How old is Pepper then?
32.
In that movie?
Monarch made up.
I don't know, because, like, I don't want to get into, you know, reproductive ability, but, like, if they're going to have Morgan and Tony Stark is now 48, like, obviously that's possible, right?
Right.
But how old is Pepper? Because if she's also 48, it's very unlikely.
Yeah, there's other...
It happens, but, you know, it should be maybe a bigger deal.
I don't think she's 48.
Right.
I feel like she's much younger than him.
Okay.
At least a good 8 years.
Okay.
Because she's an assistant. Not that she's not, like, a great assistant, but,
right.
like, she still hasn't, like, worked her way up from...
Yeah. She worked for him for 10 years when he was 38, so she worked for him since he was 28. So she could be, like, 21 at that.
Oh, when she started working? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I thought you meant now. I was like, she's not been working for him since she was a teenager.
No.
Like
so
a young
like,
teen.
Maybe she was like an intern. Even then, it could be like 20, you know, as low as 18. So 10 years would be the max distance I think you could give them.
Yeah.
But probably like 7 years. So yeah, maybe 40 or 30, 39 or something, roughly. Because I don't remember exactly when they had their kid or when Endgame came out or... You know, but that's even 5 years later, and how old is Morgan? You know what I mean?
She's...
Like, that's set in 2022.
She's like 4. She's older.
I know. I know she's not like baby, but like, is she 5 or is she 4 or what is she?
I think she's like 4 or 5.
Okay.
I think it's okay.
Just all the timeline stuff, man. It's like, I just wish, you know, they would have done it perfectly from the get-go. A lot of pressure on
I don't
them.
think you can.
I wish it. I wish it would have been fixed. It was not, maybe in 50 years when someone does a reboot, inevitably.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it never happens, but like when they do a reboot,
maybe in 100 years.
they'll fix everything,
Do you think people will still watch these in like 50 years? Like people our age? Like how old will we be? We'll be in our 70s, so we'll be like our grandkids.
I don't know.
I mean, I will make them watch it.
Yeah.
But will it be like one of those things like, hey, I had to go watch this
with my grandpa.
with my grandparents. It's like stupid movie with some actors who are all dead and all this stuff. Like,
and it's like on
it wasn't even in 5D.
Yeah, it's not even. I can't even smell them. It's like what?
It's so
like,
stupid.
What's the point of cinema if you can't smell the sweat of the actors?
Yeah,
like,
we had to actually watch it on a TV.
Like, I don't know. We're all gonna be dead by then anyway. So
I'm not gonna be dead by 70.
No, everyone's gonna be dead. Climate change will kill us all.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I'll die before climate change.
Or coronavirus, COVID-19. That also could kill us all. We don't know. Probably not, but like.
I think we'll be okay.
I think we'll be okay too. My brother freaked out. He sent us a text today in the chats, in the family group chat. He said, "Did you see the Harvard scientist, like the disease scientist at Harvard was like, the coronavirus could likely reach 40 to 70% of the humanity in the next year, but." If you read the article, that's just the headline. Of course, the headline is attention grabbing. It is. He does say that, I don't know if it's a he or she or they, but the scientist says that, but they say it's like likely to become more like the cold and flu season, right? Where yes, the flu is deadly, but only if not treated, and it can't be,
right.
in very very few cases, right? But it's more of like because not everyone who gets the COVID-19 gets symptoms, which makes it harder to track, which will, I heard that bell too. We don't know what that was.
Oh, I do. It's a doorbell.
Someone's here. Yay.
It's probably a waiter. It's 5:00.
But it makes it harder to track.
What are you doing? Are you giving a coronavirus lesson to our
this is important.
viewers?
This is important, Carson. People are dying.
You know who's dying? Tony Stark and Iron Man 2.
Nice segue.
Thank you.
Just saying, man. We're probably fine. My brother's freaked out.
We're fine.
Climate change, though, we're not fine.
We'll still be posting.
For 50 years.
We're gonna have to find each other. Don't know how we're gonna do that. And that's the tea.
Our grandkids will tell us.
Our grandkids will tell us how
They'll
to.
know how to find people.
Oh.
Everyone's location will be known at all times in 50 years.
This is scary.
I mean, won't it?
I don't know. We've yet to actually get a real life Iron Man, so.
Have we? What do we not know? You know what I mean? Obama made that joke like 10 years ago.
About Iron Man?
Yeah. So, and I mean, he's a funny guy, so people believed it. But what if it was telling the truth? People believed it was a joke, but like, you think they're not trying that?
I think we'd get Captain America before we get Iron Man, because people are obsessed with this idea of being superhuman.
I don't know. My board. No, we're back.
His bird.
I want my board.
I read, so I was reading up on Iron Man 2 today just to get prepared for this. And did you know that the actor, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, bought that bird himself because he wanted his character to carry around a bird? I said, why wouldn't Jon Favreau buy it for you? That's what I want to know. Did they not think the bird was important? Because it was. That bird made that character even weirder. It was strange.
Yeah, I mean, it made you attach some sympathy to the character. Not to him, but like when they put the bird in the bag, like that's the worst part of the whole movie. Honest to God. It's the saddest part of the whole film.
It's the most violent thing the
it's
MCU's ever done.
Whoa, let's chill here.
Okay, but also Hammer's crazy.
Yeah. No, I get it, right? So, like, that makes you feel kind of bad you feel bad for the bird,
and you hate
extension Vanko,
and you hate Hammer. And you never stop hating Hammer.
But you do still hate Vanko. Just less. I think. I still hate him.
I think this is the first movie where I really started to not like Howard Stark. Which is a shame because I like him in Captain America, kinda. Yeah. But just not the greatest Greatest dude.
Explain. I didn't really pay attention to Howard Stark this time watching.
But, like, the whole premise is that Vanko's father and him worked together on the arc reactor, and then Vanko's father was about to sell it or something, so Stark had him deported. And, like, put in jail.
Yeah.
So, like, Stark was one of those guys I really feel kind of just threw around his money, didn't worry about anything, didn't worry about his kid. I wouldn't be surprised if he and Obadiah were both dealing under the table for a bit.
What was it that Fury said?
About your dad?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I just remember him saying something about, like, you haven't... Okay, also, what in the world is Fury talking about there? Because, like, you can't tell me Fury knew that Howard Stark built into his Stark Expo thing a way to build a new element. You can't tell me Fury knew that off the top of his head.
I don't think Fury knew he could
He was
build
like,
a new
I'm
element.
telling you, you haven't checked everywhere. Like, or you haven't tried everything. Because Tony's like, I've tried everything. Also, injecting people in the neck without permission. Not cool, Black Widow. Not cool.
Alright, well, Black Widow does a lot of things that, quote-unquote, aren't cool, that are pretty bad beep, you know? So, like...
But also, that kind of, like, no wonder he doesn't trust any of them once they get, you know, later into the series.
That's
because
fair.
you've also, like, lied to Tony Stark and then stabbed him in the neck.
Yeah.
So, no wonder he doesn't trust S.H.I.E.L.D. and, like, half of them.
No, I don't know. It's just, like, it's tricky, the Howard Stark thing, with the deportation of Vanko's father, because Fury says something, the reason why they kicked Vanko out of the country, essentially. Remember? When he's talking, he's like, yes, it's true, you know, he did work with him on the arc reactor thing. But
I think Vanko was, like, trying to sell it. To, like, probably some shady people.
Probably. See, so, like, that becomes more of, like, a legit...
But to deport him?
I don't know, man. I don't know how. I don't remember exactly what happened. That's the thing. But, I do think the Fury didn't know that the element was, like, in the video.
It was just very, like, weird the way that was
weird,
set up.
But it does make sense that he would say, you haven't tried everything, because he trusted Howard Stark, and Howard was like, Tony will know how to do it. You know what I mean? Tony will know how to fix the arc reactor, right? That's all he was saying. He'll know how to make it work, consistently and without killing anybody. And he made it small, and that was the first step, I guess. But then
I guess. I have no clue what Howard Stark was planning on doing with that thing.
he wanted to make energy for the people, the city of the future. You know what I mean?
It looks like Epcot from Disney World, and I'm not the only one who thinks that. So, just saying.
It is a Disney movie. Subliminal messaging. Anyway.
What does the Epcot stand for? Like, of people, I know tomorrow is the last word.
God stands for what?
Experimental
prototype community of tomorrow.
Tell me that doesn't sound like the exact same thing Howard Stark was building.
A utopian city of the future planned by Walt Disney, often interchanging city and community. So experimental prototype city of tomorrow or community of tomorrow. No, I mean that's fair. It makes sense, I guess, that they would base the utopia off of Epcot then, because Disney has already thought of the perfect city, right?
Right. Comment down below if you agree.
I haven't been, so I couldn't tell you. I don't know, man. Utopia sounds pretty nice, but
Epcot's pretty fun.
yeah. So I don't know. It's a tricky thing with Howard Stark. He's a founder of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know. We learned that in this movie.
He just always I just always think of him as like a sleazeball. And I don't know why.
He was.
He was just
if
weird.
You watch Captain Marvel, or no.
Captain America? Agent Carter.
Agent Carter, the series, he plays an integral role. He's like, Agent Carter and him work together a lot. Total sleazeball.
Yeah, he is.
Always trying to playboy to the max, for sure.
Yeah, and he did it in Captain America. A little bit.
What?
In Captain America, he was just you got hints of it, but
right, fondue.
Bro, and just like him, just always kind of.
Yeah.
He just always looked smug.
No, that's the character. That's who they had him be in that period of his life. And when he was older, apparently he wasn't a loving father. but he still thought his son was the best.
The greatest creation. I said, if anybody in my family said, you're my greatest creation, I would say...
Stop. She sipped her drink.
I would say, that's tea. I forget that everybody can't see.
Yeah, I know.
I know, like, we need to...
And now Karson is sipping her drink.
It's tea. But no, like a robot.
No, it's like... I don't know, man. He's a tricky character. He's the epitome of the guy who knows how to work with machines, but not with people. You know what I mean? More so than Tony is, even.
Yeah, because Tony's got charisma.
Because Tony learns how to interact with folks and have a loving relationship and do things.
The only time Tony ever reminds me of a sleazeball is in Iron Man 1 when his hair is all slicked back. It's just the worst. We've talked about it. It's the worst.
Might be the worst hairstyle in the entire universe.
It just makes you look like it's like they were
Literally
instantly trying
greasy.
to say.
Literally looks greasy. It looks like you have grease on your head.
You do.
Sleazeball, slime ball. Where do you think that comes from? Comes from greasy hair. It's nasty. I'm really glad that goes away. I'm curious to see. I mean, I know Robert Downey Jr. grew the beard mustache combo for Stark for real. It wasn't like a plan on, but like in every movie, it's like a little bit different. You know, you ever notice that? And I want to know.
That's
why.
a hard thing to trim. It's like
is.
Intricately shaped.
I've done it. I've tried to do it. I can.
Does it say can you?
I can a little bit. It's not perfect, right?
Can you do it when we go see Black Widow?
I can try. How long is that?
That's May.
Well, I don't know. I'm going to a conference this next week, so.
They love the beard.
No, they don't love the patch. It takes a minute to grow in, and then the little spikes on the side don't come super well, and they don't come far enough out like his do. They're like more in here, and it's funky. But
RDJ cut his hair.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple interviews with him recently, and he just kind of... I think he's kind of done with the MCU, I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know, man.
I think he's tired.
I would be tired.
Of just... Because he... In one interview I saw, he was like, we didn't expect it to become what it was, and it was long. I mean, 10 years of doing movies.
More.
And having to, like, stay physically and fit, and, like...
Well, yeah, like 11 and a half.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. I mean, saved his life, but like...
But yeah.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. Anything else happening exciting in Iron Man 2? Love the part, again, where Hammer's, like, they're showing all, they're like, oh, look, they're creating prototypes. Yeah. And Iron Man's like, Tony's like, oh, wait, am I taking control of your screens?
I'd like to point out that pilot survived.
Yeah. And he's like, oh my gosh, is that Hammer? Justin? Is that you?
You're on TV. It's perked up, buddy. You're on TV.
And he's like crawling under it. How long does it take someone to unplug everything in a wall?
Apparently enough for like 4 countries in a company to be exposed. I don't know.
He was like, I'm like, just pull them all out. Just start pulling.
Just yank.
The best part would have been if it just kept going.
That was fun.
And Tony's like, you can't turn that off.
It was good stuff. And I like this is more of a, real world kind of thing, but I like how Rhodey comes in to testify, and that was a good way to do it. I thought of this as we were watching, like, they have to introduce him by name, so we know it's the actor has changed, right? And it wasn't like a, oh, hey, Rhodey, how you been, kind of thing.
Yeah, it
was like a real reason
call
to have
in
Rhodey
James
somewhere,
Rhodes.
right, which was good. But then when the senator is like, I want you to read this specific passage, and he's like, you want me to read out of context things that because I thought I was going to be talking generally, more, it's a 100-page report, made me appreciate what Marvel did there. Like, Marvel has not been afraid to make social commentary. They don't do it like blatantly.
They
a lot
don't,
of times.
or often, but sometimes.
But I mean, if you look at the stories, you see real things that happen in the world, like especially in the political sphere. Like I just mentioned, the coronavirus. The title makes it seem like we're all gonna die. You know what I mean? And some people will die, and it will be sad, yes. But a lot of us will just get sick. You know what I mean? And not even know it, right? And in the political sphere, it's like people take things out of context all the time to mold their own stories, so you need to do your own research a lot, and Rhodey expresses that. And
Right.
he's like, this is ridiculous. Why are you telling me to do it? Like he respects the orders, right? Because he's, an Army and Air Force man. He's like, yep, I guess, you're part of the people, right? But, like, I also want you to know, because this is publicized, right, that all this happens. And they do another thing. It's similar in this movie than in Iron Man 3, where the villain is not actually the villain. You know what I mean? It's not... I mean, the Russian guy is, angry and at Iron Man. That's true, right? But it's actually the billionaire rich guy from America that's causing a lot of problems.
Right, who's using someone who's angry to get revenge, and he's like, I'll help you. And then he's like, oh, he did it.
And then in Iron Man 3, it's the same thing. It's like, this is also commentary, and we've mentioned this, I've talked to you about this before, where at the Mandarin, it's like, we give the evil a face that looks, Middle Eastern, and everyone will believe, because that's what terrorists are supposed to look like. When actually, it's just the rich... millionaire white guy who's stoking the fire to try and get what he wants, you know what I mean? And that's a lot of times you got to look at what in this movie it's like what caused the events to unfold, like what made this guy angry. His dad got deported, you know what I mean? Like things happen that are not so sanitary or nice to think about, right? And like
revenge.
Who's meddling, right? Like, who's meddling around? Just remember to always think, okay, maybe there's someone else behind it, And that's my soapbox talk. Stan Lee had a soapbox on the back of his comics. Every week he would do Stan Lee's soapbox, and he would just write a little note to the young people. So that's my Stan Lee soapbox for today.
There you go.
Look a little further, read a little more.
Read a little more. Read a book.
Just read a little more. Every time you think you've read enough, read a little bit more.
There you go.
That might be a good place to end it. Not to brag, but that might be a pretty good spot.
I have nothing else.
Excited for a meme episode.
I'm gonna get together some good ones.
Yeah, and again, YouTube would be the place to watch. I will remember to put in all the memes. If you watched our first few episodes...
we would be like, insert picture here, there would be no picture.
No picture, because I forgot that we said that. And also, we swore a couple times, and I was like, we'll bleep those out.
And we didn't.
I forgot to do that, too. So we've been better about the swearing. Because we don't have, a tally to remind me, okay, we swore at, minute whatever, you know what I mean? And I don't want to go back through and listen to an hour-long thing. We hate it. We hate
I don't
listening to ourselves.
Listen to the podcast.
I haven't watched one.
I won't. I've watched 10 minutes of one on Spotify in my car ride, and I was just criticizing the way I sound. And I was like, no, I can't listen because I think I sound so weird.
See, us famous folks are just like the rest of you. Everybody hates their voice on camera. It's just the way it is.
Us famous folks.
Us famous folks. We got 30 views total now?
More than that.
I don't know. It's crazy. Crazy.
Share.
Yeah,
tell your friends.
Like, subscribe, hit that bell, and
all those things.
Yeah, we do have social media accounts, but we haven't used them at all, and I don't really want to get into that,
We have social media, but you can follow our personal social media.
Yeah, sure. Google us.
Just look up Karson. One of us is bound to show up.
Yeah, if you're
we
in
look
the
like this
area, which we won't reveal. But anyway, yeah, next
sad area.
Iron Man 2. It's not the worst Marvel movie out there, but it's definitely not the best. It's not.
No,
the best.
it's kind of average.
Yeah.
Middle, lower.
It tries to do a lot. You learn a lot. There's some good moments in there, like the laser suit.
The laser suit when he's like.
Bro, get it down,
He never does that anymore. Wait, sometimes he has a laser come out of his hand. That's true.
Oh right.
He cuts open things.
Right.
Like the ship on Infinity War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
I'd say skip the Incredible Hulk. Don't skip Iron Man 2. You need to see it.
Yeah, you need to see it. If you want to get the whole story, you need to see it. You don't need to love it. You might not, When you get to the end of this and you look back, like we are, after watching the cycle through, 3
I loved it when
now.
I first saw it, though.
Yeah, it's really something. But
Whiplash is cool, as a kid, but also Why does he never have a shirt on? You need protection when you're villaining.
You got metal on your skin, man. You got electricity running through it. That's hot. I don't understand. And it's also not comfortable. It's just not.
His costume was scary, not practical for villaining. Also, he cut Tony Stark's race car in half, and Tony... Oh, also when Happy and Pepper ride up to, like, give him the suit.
That is the best moment in the movie. Alright, I said that before. No, I said the worst moment was in the bird gets in. The best moment is when he's... I was attacked. He's like, hit him again. Were you going for him or were you going for me? Because I can't tell. Because Tony thinks the fight is over because Happy hit him with his car. And he's like already just making jokes, but also kind of mad. He's like, will you try? Come on, tell me. Were you going for him or me? Because I can't tell. And then Pepper just can't throw the suit out the open door of the car.
When does Pepper stop being useless?
When
in these
stop
movies,
being useless
and just screaming and kind of being drugged along.
She takes charge later in this movie when she's like, "I'll handle it" to Rhodey, and then Tony's like, "Come on, just kiss me because I'm drunk," and we're like, "Oh yeah, he does love her." It's like, oh. Also, it's like, all right, let's back up, huh? Let's back up, Chief.
Maybe I finally like her in
Iron Man 3 when she wins the movie.
I liked her in Avengers. She was okay in there.
Okay.
Because we saw her for like 2 seconds.
Anyway, we'll wrap it up like we said we would a couple minutes ago.
My bad. I remembered a great scene.
Yeah, we had fun things to say. We were all neutral today about Iron Man 2, and it's a neutral movie. But we had to give it the good stuff. Don't skip it. Skip Hulk. If you're going to skip one movie, skip Hulk. That's the consensus. We will be back in 2 weeks with a meme episode, so just, a lot more laughing probably.
Friday the 13th, so kind of spooky.
Yeah, it's a scary day, so we want to cheer you up, make it all fun and bubbly.
Happy Leap Day tomorrow.
Yeah. Happy Leap Day. Oh my god. Congratulations to all of the 16-year-old, 4-year-olds that will turn and get their driver's license tomorrow, even though they're 4.
Even though
it's great.
They're
it's
4.
A great day to be 4. All right. For Karson and Carson, see you next time.
Signing out.
Woo!
And we're done.
My board!